Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Bitcoin. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Let's get into the fun stuff now. So basically what we're looking for here, there's still those same options that we talked about in the previous video. This could be a fifth wave, and then we look for a bigger three-wave retracement. Um, if we do get that as a three-wave retracement, the target zone would potentially be looking for this 20,988 at a 50% retracement, or alternatively, this is 1765 as a lower range that we'd be looking for. Potentially, if this is actually a fifth wave, it changes the support box slightly. So that's why I've got the secondary box here. Uh, and basically, what we'd be looking for would be looking to see whether we actually get a bigger breakdown here, which actually then starts to take out these lows of this 23,896 and this finally this 19,549. There is also that possibility, like we talked about in the previous video, that within this, we could still have that possibility of a big flat correction here. We are still sitting within this zone, so we need to just be aware of that. If we do see a single five-wave move to the downside, which actually looks to come back into this range here, potentially we could then actually look for continuation to the upside from that point. So it's going to be key here. If we do start to break down, what I'm going to be looking for is whether we actually take this low primarily, and then whether we actually maintain this low here. So we're going to go over those options in a second, but I just want to just obviously talk about these different possibilities here. What we have to be careful of is if we do actually start to break down on a bigger five-wave structure to the downside here, we need to be cautious of the fact that we could still look for this fourth wave up here, where this could then become, a 1, 2, and then we look to break down. Or alternatively, this could then become an A. We get a three-wave move back to the upside, and then we look to break down again. So these are some of the things that can happen. Um, as long as we hold this key zone here, this 23,896, potentially we can still look for that bullish option there. So we're going to be talking about that primarily. So what we're going to be talking about here is we're looking at this move to the upside in a few ways. And what we were talking about within the structure is, there is a couple of ways of reading this. Potentially we could count it as a five-wave move into this high. This becomes a 1 and a 2. And then we're looking for that possibility of forming another 1, 2 here. Alternatively, because of the fact that this came so shallow here, we could also argue that within here, this could be counted as a fourth wave, where this becomes a third, fourth, and then we're having this as a fifth wave to the upside. So this is still possible. It is quite a long fifth wave, though, in relation to this wave one. So I'm thinking that it's probably more likely that actually the wave one extended into this high. So what we'd be looking for then is basically that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and then we'd be looking for that potential to break down. So we're going to go over these key zones now. So what we're looking for is if we are so this is the option where we're talking about that potentially being a fourth wave. It is still viable technically, but this wave five would have been vastly disproportionate to that wave one, which is making me think that it's less likely that this is a fifth wave here, though these things do sometimes happen. So what I'm looking out for, either way, the idea is the same here. Whether this is an extended wave one or a fourth wave, basically what we'd be looking for would be that potential to actually come back down lower here after completion towards this zone. Actually, I need to push this up here now because we've come up a little bit higher. So between into this zone of this 24,657, which would actually be a 382 retracement. So this would be a shallow B wave or wave two here. And then basically this would be the 50% at this 23,590, which would be just below this previous fourth wave structure, which would actually be a retest of some of this is already here. So that'll be an interesting area to keep an eye on. Obviously, we need to be aware that this could play out. Alternatively, if we come down deeper here, this 618 golden pocket area kind of matches up with this little zone here at the bottom. So I will be keeping an eye on that if we do break down into this zone. Potentially these could be areas we look to get a move back to the upside. Even if it is not another five-wave move, potentially these areas could be a point of bouncing to the upside for a B wave and then looking to actually come down lower here. If we are looking at this still in a bullish manner. So the idea within this is that we could be performing this C wave to the upside. 1 to 1 is actually up here at this 31,895. I do have some other zones shown here, this 28,723 and this 29,695. So these are going to be key zones for to keep an eye on if we do look to push up here. We do have this one here is quite interesting to me, this 28,723, because this would be sort of just, if I just zoom out slightly here, I just marked up the bottom of this support range here, and then also this wick of this candle here, just where we had this bit of a saddle from there. So I'm keeping an eye on these two levels. We have interacted with this bottom one a few times here. Well, actually, yeah, three times here. So now we can see there's a bit of indecision here. So within this structure, currently what I'm looking for is the potential that this whole move here could be a diagonal. Where this becomes a 1, 2. Potentially we get this as another move to the downside and a 3, a 4, and a 5. Something to that effect. What I'd be looking for is to see whether we continue to hold this bottom trend line here. If we start to break this, we have a couple of possibilities. But basically, so the way we're looking at this one is that we're looking for a five-wave move to the upside completed, potentially into the completion of this shape here. We need to be cautious that we don't have extension in here where this becomes a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we start to progress up here, something like this, and then we get a bigger move to the upside where we actually have extension and this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, something to this effect. So we need to be aware that these sort of things can play out. There's nothing really indicating it besides the possibility of it happening. But yeah, for the most part, it is looking like a diagonal here. We'll have to see whether that plays out. But if this is the case and we are looking for continuation, I'd be expecting a move down towards this potential support zone here. So this is the same with whether we look at this move in this manner or whether we are looking at that possibility of this as a wave two, sorry, as an extension within the wave one. The only difference is here, like basically we we would be looking for this wave two interaction if we're looking for an extent, if we're looking for this move to advance to the upside here and continue in a bigger five-wave structure. So the key thing here is if this is going to advance, it would be very likely that we get a retest of this 2 and then move to the upside. So that would actually be tying up quite nicely with potentially moving to this 50% zone. So that's what I'm going to be keeping an eye out. If we do start to break down deeper here, potentially the support zone is pretty much the same. If we start to lose this lower range here, this 21,256, it becomes less likely that we are going to see this continuation here and then potentially we could look to actually lose this lower down here towards this zone of this 19,550. So that's something we need to just be aware of. That is still on the cards, but yeah, as long as we hold above this 23,896, potentially we could still either have a little bit more extension up here, or alternatively we could be looking at this in a more bullish way. And the more bullish way of looking at this is basically looking at that possibility that this move here in itself was actually just a shorter wave too. And we're looking for that potential that this could then form another 1, 2. So this hinges solely on holding this 23,896. If we lose this 23,896, this would throw this idea out the window of this being a 1 and a 2. So if we lose this low, basically that invalidates that potential. So what we want to see here, I still think that we've got some, like I said, I think we've still got another push to the upside here, followed by a three-wave move and then another move like this. If we continue to consolidate in this area, I would still be looking at that possibility of a extent of a diagonal here. However, like I said, we need to be cautious that this isn't a bigger move, setting up some ones and twos within here, ready to move to the upside, where this becomes a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then it starts to move up. Invalidation of this would actually come by actually dropping back below this zone here of this 26,872. So if we do break below that zone, it would invalidate that possibility of setting up these ones and twos like this. Obviously, the more ones and twos that we count like this, the less probable it becomes. But really, it's only invalidates by starting to lose these lows that we have in place here. So need to keep an eye on that. So the idea here is that we would potentially look to actually find support higher up. So this would be between this 26,663, 631 to this 24,810 range. So this would be the zone we're actually looking for to find support in. And if we do look to find support here, if we want to look for an impulsive move, so it depends how deep down we come here. I've just gone off this 618 area, which would be this 25,552, just because we've got a little bit of structure in this zone. But basically, what I'm looking out for is that possibility of this extending to the upside. So confirmation of an extension up here would come by crossing above this 33,317 and then looking for a fourth wave to the downside and then looking to potentially push up one more time into this area of this 36,000 to this 34,616 1, 2, yeah. So this is something that could play out, and we could actually see this move to the upside, and that could then actually look to push us up towards this 1, 2, 3, 6 of this A wave, which would be down here. So of this move here, this 1.236 up here would basically be a potential target area if we get an extension within this move here. The thing is within this, basically this then would not still wouldn't reach this higher zone that we'd be looking for here at this 38,750 um, unless we get extension within these waves. So obviously I'm just working off a single wave here. This move could do something like this as another 1, 2 here, and then we get 3, 4, 5, and then that actually looks to bring us up into the zone. So I'm keeping an eye on it. We don't have confirmation, and it solely hinges on holding the support area. If we lose this 24,810, basically looking for lower price here, and then basically looking to come down, potentially and find support in this other support zone lower down here, which would be this one between this 24,657 to this 21,191. If we start to lose these key zones here, particularly starting to lose this 786, it becomes less likely that this low is going to hold, and we could actually be looking for a deeper retracement. Like I said previously, potentially this move could be either an A, B, and a C to the downside, in which case we look to retest these key zones here. Alternatively, this whole move is a 5-wave move completed into this high, and we get a bigger 3-wave move to the downside, something like this, which could actually look to target out rather this zone here of this 20,988 to the 17,625. So this is going to be the key zones. If we start to lose this low, we need to be cautious. This could look to break down again, but for as long as we remain above this 23,896, there is potential for that extension to the upside. So we can't ignore it. Especially if this is a third wave, basically what we'd want to see is this starting to get a nice strong move to the upside here. We also did talk about this one briefly. It's not my preferred count. If we we're going to look at this now as a diagonal, then basically what I'd be looking for would just be based that this fifth wave move would come into here. Like I said though, it is possible that within this structure we could start to get some moves, some additional structure playing out to the upside here, where this becomes an A, this becomes a B, then we look to push up for a bigger, a 1, 2, and then a 3 to the upside. But we'd really need to start moving. I'm going to go into this low here. We'd have to move above this 29,627 for us to look at that as a possible extension. And what I'd be looking for then is that basically, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then potentially we'd have to count this as another 1, 2 in here, get another fourth and a fifth, and then basically this would potentially look to push us up higher up into some of those target areas that we talked about previously, which would be some of these zones up here. So the 786 is this 28,723. 854 would be 29,695, and this 1-to-1 is up here towards this zone of this 31,875. If this does look to push up higher, potentially we could see this stop anywhere within these ranges. Technically speaking, still would be just a corrective move to the upside at that point, but we'd have to watch the retracement. If we do get a direct move up here past this zone of this 43,000, basically what we'd be looking for is something like this up into this range. Potentially then we could look for a fourth and then looking for another fifth wave to the upside here. And then that could actually look to complete this whole sequence. So we'd have to keep an eye on this. It is possible we can start to see these sort of things play out. We need to maintain this 23,896 though for this immediate push to the upside. If we lose that, then we've got that support zone lower down, and then we just need to be aware that we are sitting at resistance here now. We could potentially push up a little bit more, but we need to be aware that this could also decide to reverse from here. Obviously, we've got the FOMC later today, so just be aware, guys. If you are trading, please use good risk management. We don't want to see people getting burnt because they aren't using good risk management, and the trades go against them. So just please, if you are going to be trading, use good risk management. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on the bell notification so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. As well as that, there is affiliate links for both Primex BT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out for yourself if you do not have an account. Using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care out there.